forward and we'll go ahead and get started.
All right, thanks, Donna Lisa. Good morning. Welcome, everyone. We had some big storms last night, so we think some of ours decided to stay online this morning. So welcome, everyone. My name is Tracy Irby, and I'm the director at the Center for Women Entrepreneurs. We are, for those of you that don't know, we are part of the larger Jane Nelson Institute for Women's Leadership. Who is dedicated to preparing more women to take on successful roles in business and public service. It's 3 specialized centers: the Center for Student Leadership, our Center for Women Entrepreneurs, and Center for Women in Government ensure women have the education to establish careers as successful executives, skills for building entrepreneurial businesses, and the framework needed to run for public office. Our center specifically was funded by the state legislature just to help promote women entrepreneurs anywhere in the state of Texas. And you don't have to be affiliated with TWU to take advantage of the services that we offer. I'd like to introduce our staff. Now, Donna Lisa, you just saw her. She's our associate director. We have Kimberly Nielsen online. She's our online hostess. Barbara Range is on as well. She's our program, I think I'm calling her title wrong. She's over on Facebook and we'll be watching them there. And Christina Mortel is our small business advisor. So we're thankful for all of you to be here. And what we would like to do is have everybody introduce themselves. So for those of you that are online, you can put your information in the chat. Don't forget to put a link to your business or LinkedIn so we can follow up with you. And we're going to go around the room here and have quick introductions. So I'll start with the back row.
Hi, everybody. My name is Marge Atkinson. My business is Ask Marge, the Research Sage. I'm an academic coach for non-traditional graduate students, and I also work with authors and small businesses on research needs for them.
Good morning. I'm Ann Morgeson. I'm a certified health coach, and I empower individuals to reclaim their health, achieve their healthy goal weight, keep it all by embracing their healthy habits and lifestyle.
Good morning. My name is Shoyna Brown, and I am a small business owner of a Elements massage franchise in the McKinney, Texas area.
Morning, I'm Heather Walker, and I own Bright Sound by Heather's professional tea point knee studio here on the square, and we are expanding our services to be mobile.
Hi, I'm Lauren Egan with Farmers Insurance, Kelly Phillips Agency, and help with all things insurance, but really like to help the local small business owners.
Great. So thank you all for being here. Again, all of you online, feel free to put your information in the chat, and we do send the chat out afterwards. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get us to our speaker. I've had the opportunity to meet her once when I was in Houston. Tiara Abu is the CEO and founder of She Can Work, LLC, a business development company that provides business services, fractional management, and increased access to capital through women of color focused small business investments. She is also the chairman of the She Can Work Foundation, which is on a mission to increase the number of successful women of color-owned businesses through programs, grants, and business technical assistance. Tiara is committed to fighting injustice and helping women take their place as the architects of society. Tiara, we're so happy to have you today.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. I'm honored to be here. I also love to be in spaces where I just know people. So I'm like looking at all the names on the screen and I'm like, oh my God, I know so many people, which makes it even better. Can I go ahead and share my screen now, Kimberly?
Yes, share your screen.
Okay. So I'll share my screen so we can get started. Ladies, today I'm excited to talk about email marketing with you. Before I get started, I just like to tell people, like, I am a business owner just like you. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 13. My background is in education. So I've been teacher, assistant principal. I've started my own school, managed schools, coached principals, superintendents, and all kinds of people. in the educational system. So I do not proclaim to be an expert in email marketing. I claim to be a business owner who has effectively utilized email marketing in multiple businesses and seen success. So today, everything I share comes from experience. I do not have a degree in this. I did not take classes. I guess I have taken some courses, but I really am trying to share things that work and that I've seen work for me and other business owners that I work with. So this is what I look like. If you ever see me in person, come and give me a hug. I'm just like a regular person. I'm a mom of boys, a full-on soccer mom. So I spend most of my evenings on the soccer field. If you ever invite me to an evening event and I do not come, it is because I'm probably at soccer. And if you ever invite me to anything on the weekends and I do not come, it is also because I'm probably at soccer. I am unapologetically a soccer mom, and I spent the last 2 years kind of dedicating myself to my motherhood and less to my work. And so I know a lot about soccer, y'all, because that is what my children are all into. So why are we here today? I would love to hear just if I can get some people in the chat to write, the people who are virtual, if you could write down or put in the chat why you're here today and what you're hoping to learn. And then I'm not sure who is helping with the in-person crowd, but I would love to hear from at least one person in person about why they're here today. So I'll give people some time to get in the chat, and then maybe we'll ask at least one person to share in person. I'll give you some time, and then.
Donalisa, it's me, Donalisa. I'll be your helper here in the room.
Perfect. Donalisa, I'll give people some time to put in the chat why
Okay.
they're here, and then we'll hear from at least one person in the room. So Michelle says how not to be annoying through email. Oh, I get that because I have sent emails so many times and I'm like, am I on their nerves? So I totally get that. What else? Barbara is looking to expand her business and help business owners by educating her HR practices. Let's see. She wants to know how to maintain consistency and value. We're going to talk about that. Managing the funnel process. Hey, Nina. Nina's here, and Nina wants to, let's see. It's going fast, y'all. She's trying to get some email marketing ideas. And thank you for loving the She Can Work emails, because I worked really hard to try to figure that out, Nina. How to keep people engaged and opening their emails. I love that. We're going to talk some about that too. Donalisa, can we hear from somebody in the room why they're here?
Yes. Anybody want to share?
Just learning how to be more effective in my subject line, the content within the email, just effectiveness.
Okay, perfect.
Overall effectiveness. So we're going to talk, I'm going to hopefully address, I'm looking through at some of the other things that people wrote. Hopefully I'm going to address a lot of this. It's a 40-minute session, so we're going to go high level, but there's time for Q&A, so I'm happy to answer any questions at the end. And then throughout, if you all have questions, pop them in the chat, and I'll make sure that I'm checking the chat.
So Tiara, Kimberly's gonna grab those questions for you and we'll get them at the end. Yep. Yep. Where you're
Okay.
at.
Yay, I have help. So whatever you're here to learn, what we all really want is for us to have loyal fans who line up and scream for our products and services. We all want the Beyonce effect. We want to drop a country album and let it go #1 the next day. We want our companies and brands to be top of mind for people. We want everybody to sing our songs. So the goal for our email marketing is always to attract people to us and really maintain those loyal fans. So here's what I'm going to talk about today. In the next 30 or so minutes, we're going to define email marketing because sometimes I think it gets a little fuzzy. We're going to explore 4 considerations. So these are the things that, just 4 things I would really have you to consider for success, or as you pursue whatever your strategy is going to be. We're going to talk about managing your email marketing mindsets because we can get in our own way a lot of the time. And then we'll engage in some Q&A. So make sure to pop those things, all of your questions in the chat, and we'll make sure we get to as many as possible. So let's first start with, what is marketing? So I try to like make this like the most simple definition I can think of. So marketing is about getting the word out and attracting people. Sometimes we get really get marketing fuzzy with sales, but sales is different. So marketing is bringing people to us, and sales is about actually conducting a transaction with the people when they come. So when people say to me, I don't want my emails to sound salesy, I'm like, well, don't sell then. Then just attract people to you. Just when people show up, or when you show up in someone's inbox and they open it, start a relationship with that person. But you don't have to sell. It should lead to a sale, but the marketing in and of itself is not selling. So today we're going to focus just on how to bring people to you. So you won't hear me talk a lot about calls to action, or you won't hear me talk about like sales language or conversion today. I'm really going to talk about, once you show up in somebody's inbox, how to make sure that those people keep clicking over and over and over, and you actually meet the objectives of the marketing campaign that you put together. And then here's how MailChimp defines email marketing. I'll stop talking so you can read it. So email marketing is a form of marketing to like literally help people be aware of your product, services, and any discounts you offer. That is the goal of email marketing. And here's how Grow with Google, like I like to utilize some of their tools. So here's how they talk about the customer journey. They talk about attracting people to you, so awareness. The next phase that people kind of go through is like, should I actually be buying with you? And they make that decision by like you helping them answer questions that they might have, or find answers to the questions that they have. The conversion is when they actually make a sale. People are actually buying from you, and loyalty is when they come back. Today, we're going to really focus in on just awareness and consideration. Your email marketing kind of goals should be about, I want to make people aware of my products and services, and I want to give them the answers to their questions so they really understand that I'm the right person, or if I'm the right person for them to do business with. All right, it's time to get to the good stuff. So here are the 4 considerations. We're going to talk about platform, and we're going to spend like a very small amount of time, maybe like an annoyingly small amount of time on platform. We're going to talk about audience and really understanding your audience in your email marketing. We're going to talk about how to provide value. So I have some ways to offer you to really think about providing how you provide value in your emails. And then we're going to talk about consistency. When I first prepared for this session with Donna Lisa, I kept saying to her over and over, like, I don't want to complicate this. So if you are a person that is looking forward to the complexities and intellectual process of email marketing, please forgive me in advance, because my goal today is to simplify this, is to make it easy for us. Because to my knowledge, we are all business owners. And as business owners, there's a multitude of things for us to do. And email marketing should be a small part of that. So I really want to talk about how to make this something that you can consistently do that is not burdening you. And to Michelle's point, it is not annoying. So let's first talk about platform. I saw Angela on here, and I know she's ready. And Angela is not a person who gets caught up in the details, y'all. She likes to know the answer and move on. So this is a question I get all of the time. Which platform should I use? Here's what I'm gonna say about platforms. We use ConvertKit at She Can Work, but we've also used Flowdesk, we've also used MailChimp, we've also used Constant Contact, HubSpot, and we tried Entreport for a brief amount of time when we were considering communities. Platforms are just that. There are a bunch of them out there. There are a lot of ways that you can engage with them, but when you're deciding which platform to use, here's what I would have you to consider. First, first identify who's doing it. So are you DIYing your email marketing, or is it done for you? That's my DFY. If it is DIY. So Lark, if you were actually doing your own emails, girl, just pick the one that is easy to use. Just the one that you can like literally log on and be like, I can actually manage this. If not, like you're never going to do it with consistency. And Monique, it doesn't matter how many platforms you try them all. Like they have free trials, try it out. But pick the one that ultimately at the end of the day is one you can log on, get it done, and get off. If it is done for you or DIY, AK, what I would suggest is to pick one where you really understand the data and the analytics that it provides you. So most, if not all of these platforms provide some level of reporting. So if you're doing it yourself, or if somebody is looking or doing this for you, I would say pick the one where you actually understand the reports and it actually gives you analytics so that you understand your email open rate, clicks, et cetera, which we're going to talk about in just a second. So it's pretty simple. So the answer to the question, which platform should I use? Use whichever platform you want. But if you are doing it yourself, my recommendation to you, Tracy, is to pick the one that you can actually use. And whether somebody else is doing your email marketing or you're doing it yourself, pick the one that you can read the reports and actually utilize the data. That's the answer. Don't be mad at me. This technology is just a tool, y'all. And like every other tool, the brand doesn't matter, the functionality matters. Nobody's out here asking what brand of hammer you use to hang your pictures. You just literally want to know, can it stay on the little like stick? Is it a stick? I don't know what that's called. And can it hammer in, Siobhan? Like, don't get caught in this. Platform, check. So if at the end somebody asks what platform, Donna Lisa or Kimberly, we can't answer that question because we don't know, whichever one they want to use. All right, here's the second thing. We're going to talk about audience. Before I talk about audience, I'm going to talk about how to like, once you start to send your emails, ladies, you're gonna start to learn. You're learning about how people are like actually utilizing the content and how people are engaging in the email. That's the job. So prior to this, you make some assumptions about your audience, like you know who your ideal audience is for your business. Now you really want to know how they behave in email, because how I interact with you at an event may be different than the way I interact with you online, may be different from the way I interact with you in my inbox. And so when we talk about getting to know your audience here, it's not identifying your target audience. It really is about understanding how your audience is engaging with your email. So let's dig in. So here's the 6 things, y'all. We're going to talk about it a little bit. I'll give some examples of this. And if you have questions, make sure you pop it in the chat so we make sure we review them at the end. But I'll start off with, I'm sorry, I'm having like an issue with something's popping up. Okay, there we go. I'll start off with like, do people actually even open your emails? So somebody in the chat put, do I have the right subject line? Today, I'm not going to talk about subject lines in depth because of time, but I will say your subject line matters, but it really does matter for your audience. So if people are opening your emails, Donna might have like really catchy titles that like really entice me because she's talking about language. So maybe she uses like some phrases in her subject lines that really speak to me as somebody who is in her audience. For my emails every week, if you're on the She Can Work email list, what we've learned is we put like a little hint about what we're talking about because we primarily email about events. So typically if you get an email from us on a Sunday or a Monday, it's going to say email marketing, contracts, and whatever else. What we're doing is highlighting events. Some people do like a click-worthy, like a really strong hook in their subject line. It really is about your audience and who you're speaking to. And this might get on somebody's nerves, but you just have to try it and then see what the data is telling you. Now, there's a bunch of courses you can take out there, but I would say start somewhere, see how people respond, and then make decisions from there. But in terms of like, do people open it? If people are not opening your emails, then we know we got a problem. So most of the time, they're not opening them either because of the subject line, so they don't actually know what it is, because of the sender. Maybe they've never even met you and you started to send them things. So if they haven't met you and you're sending them things, make sure you're like legally having people on your email list. And then also maybe your stuff is going to spam. So open rates is something to consider when you're getting to know your audience. Like, are they actually opening my emails? Another thing to ask yourself is, what time do they open them? So we've gone through and I've worked with a lot of entrepreneurs who send emails out at very different times. We've tried morning time for us. We've tried morning time. We've tried midday. We've tried end of day. We tried late at night. We've learned that like most people, for our events, because our audience is entrepreneurs, they are starting the planning of their day either on a Sunday, the planning of their week either on a Sunday or a Monday. So we send out on Sundays. We learned that Sunday mornings when we send out emails, people don't open them on Sunday mornings. They're not opening them until late day on Sunday or late day on Monday. So we watch our email, if we send it on a Sunday night, we watch our emails increase over the next 24 hours, our email opens increase over the next 24 hours. So once you start, it really is a matter of like paying attention again to the data to get to know when your audience is opening them. And I would say to test it out, especially if you're early in your email sending, or if you already have lots of data because you've been sending emails, really go back to your analytics and see, when did people open these and what time of the day was most popular. The next one is, are they clicking your links? So again, I'm going to send y'all back to that report. There is so much information in what people are clicking on. So oftentimes we're dropping hyperlinks in there. Are people clicking on information? And if they're clicking on places where you've offered information or knowledge, then you know people are hungry for knowledge. If they're clicking on, for us, events, then we know that like events is why people come to the email. If they're clicking to schedule a call, or if they're not, then I understand either that they're not interested in booking calls that way, or maybe my copy is not enticing enough for them to click, or it's not clear enough. So again, like data, and you have to be asking yourself, what are they doing? And then if they're responding to it, I'm going to do more of it. And if they're not, either I'm going to ask somebody on my email list, or I'm going to really dig into the data to determine maybe why they're not. Next, I would say, do they actually follow the call to action? So Liv can put in her emails, click here, or buy now, or schedule, or reply to this email. But if nobody ever does it, that is a clear indication that something is not working, Carla. Carla, do not keep sticking reply to this email in your emails if nobody is responding to that. If you are, so I tell people, try on different calls to action. If you have a product-based business, maybe it is like, maybe people want people to see, I can't talk, I just lost my thought. If you're a product-based business, maybe people want to like directly see products in the email and they don't want to go over to your website. So you notice that you're sending people over there and they're not ever clicking that, or they're never following that action. Just put the products in the email and then see if you can get people to take whatever action. Because maybe they want a sneak peek. If it's a service and you're saying book a call with me, and nobody's booking a call, then again, you can either ask someone, Monique, like these are real people, or you could try out and like really look at your copy to see, what did I explain about this? Was this like actually clear enough for people to understand that I am meeting their need and therefore they need to take this action? Another piece of data to look at is, are they making a purchase? So oftentimes, like, we're again putting things in there, we're like, I'm sending it out. But if nobody's ever doing anything with it, or never purchasing anything, then that whole point about attraction, like, is really important. But if we can never move anybody to a sale, then there's some things we have to consider, again, in our copy, or in the content of the email. And a lot of times, y'all, I'm gonna just be honest, when we talk about value, so often the problem is actually you're providing no value. So we'll talk about how to do that. And I'll say this again later, you have to give more than you get. So if nobody's making a purchase from you, it's probably because you haven't provided them with anything. And why should I give you something if you've never given me anything? And then last, for things to consider and like in terms of getting to know your audience, what kind of emails do they actually want? And here's one that people don't listen to me when I say this, but y'all should just ask. Like this is like the easy one. Put out the survey and ask them, what kind of emails do you want? And then if nobody is responding to the email, here's a trick. Do y'all want to know the trick? I use this all the time. I send people my telephone number, or we also have like a Google number that we use. I will send that to them in the email and be like, hey girl, text me what kind of email you want. We have all ladies on ours. I'm like, hey, text me. You know, people will text me right away. I get so many text messages from my emails when I say, hey girl, text me, because I just really want to know. And then also you have all of their emails. So send a direct email. You can literally, Susan, pick 10 people off of there and say, hey, I'm reaching out to you personally because I'm trying to figure this out. What kind of emails do you want from me? So just ask them. They are regular people. And the people who text me, here's my other secret. The people who I get to text me or email me directly, they become a part of my tribe, y'all. They come to all of our stuff. They're like the ones that are like, when's the next program coming up? Because now I've made a personal connection. So if you don't know what kind of emails they want and nobody's responding to the survey, just ask. So of these, which one resonates the most with you? I'll have you just like pop it in the chat. Either you are like, I've done this and this is like, yeah, I get it. Or, like this one is really sitting with me and one that I really want to try. Pop that in the chat for me. And then Donna Lisa, can I have like one person share something that's resonating with them from the live
Yes.
group?
Anybody? Nobody? The survey? Hannah said the survey part.
Yeah, just ask it. And that's also what's resonating with people in the chat. Like just send in the text, straight up asking. Y'all, these are people. I tell people this on the other end of grants, on the other end of contracts, on the other end of emails, there's just living, breathing human beings on that side. So if we ask them, some of them actually will answer us. All right, so I don't want you to think you have to be an expert. You do not have to be an expert at this. It really is just about data. It really is just about data and seeing what is working and what is not. And to demystify it, there are no email experts. I'm going to just tell y'all that right now because it's always changing. What people are literally doing is determining what works and what doesn't work, and they're gaining knowledge that way. And that is how you develop expertise. And everybody who claims they're an expert was a beginner at some point. So just remember that, like, get out the gate, y'all. Don't let it hold you back, Carla. I see Carla on my screen. Carla, you can send out emails, girl. You can ask people what they want and send it to them. Here's the next thing we're talking about is value. So everybody asked me this, how to provide value. And I am a habitual oversimplifier, so get ready for it. Get ready. Here's how we provide value to people. You can educate people. So people love to learn. Like actually, if you provide people with the solution, they love that. So if you're a social media manager like Nina, people actually want to know like the best way to even choose you. So you teaching me how to choose a social media manager, like educating me with that knowledge, it like motivates me to buy from you. I'm like really excited because you actually know stuff. If you tell me about, like you teach me the different types of social media and the best way to leverage those, I am now like, it's almost like education is putting people in your debt. Once you give me knowledge, I feel like now I owe you something. And hopefully that's a purchase. And sometimes not. Sometimes that's a hug. Sometimes that's other knowledge. But really teach them something. Whatever it is that people are coming to you for, teach them something. And here's like the secret. give it to them with no strings attached. Give it to them with give them all of the knowledge you possibly can. Because if people are seeing that you're giving them information just in your emails, imagine, now they're thinking, imagine if I can get this in her email, imagine what I get from her when I book with her. Imagine if she's teaching us, if she knows this product so well, or knows the use of this product so well, or she understands me as a customer so well, I want to keep buying from her. So teaching people things provides them with value. So now they're finding you valuable. The next one is another way to provide value is to share success stories. So I want to know who else used your service or your product and saw success with that. How did it change their lives? How did it change their business? Or how did it change their children's lives? Tell me what people are doing out there with it and how it actually transformed them. And people want to hear that. So a lot of people tell me, well, I feel like I'm bragging all the time. I'm like, girl, you better brag. You better brag about it because people want to know. You do not you guys know when you're walking into a store and you see all of the what is that called? Ads. You see ads right there in the front of the store, the circular and all of that. It's you're gonna see it on the sign again. You're gonna see it, you're gonna see it over there with the lady who's doing the samples. Just get it out there. Just tell me how good it is and tell me how affordable it is. If it's affordable, give me the value of it and tell me all about it and tell me about the ways other people are doing it. And then last, give me a use case. So enlighten me, help me understand how I could actually use this. So go back to the grocery store, those samples, when the people are over there cooking, they're not just wanting you to taste it. That's a little advertisement, but they're now also showing you how you could use it. So help me understand how to use it. Target, I shop at Target and I love that Target shows you how people decorate their homes with the products. Or they show you, if you're going to buy a dress from Target, they show you a real person wearing the dress. Show me how to use your product or your service. Another way to enlighten is through description. So we do events that She Can Work, and that's primarily what we put in our email. So if anybody's ever read our email list, we enlighten you by telling you how you could actually benefit from this session right next to the flyer for it. So through copy, I'm also giving you a use case for this. So once you come to this session, here's what you'll be able to do. That is the way to provide value. You can educate, you can motivate me by sharing what other people are doing, or you can literally enlighten me, help me be a better user of your product or service. At the end of the day, this is what is most important. You have to give more to get more. And a lot of people say, well, you got to hold back some. I'm like, no, you don't. The world and the market is very cluttered. It is very crowded. Some people say it's a crowded market out there. I'm like, it is very crowded. And also, there's not a lot of people giving the kind of value that you can give. So tell yourself that. At the end of the day, nobody can give what you can give. So give it out there so people understand, Tracy, what the value is of your service or your product. And AK, we need more women in construction businesses. So you got to go out there and tell us all about it and not shy away from it, because what you have in your head and what you all see as easy is really hard to others. And what you all see as other people are oh my God, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. So give more, so then people trust you. You build credibility, you build a sense of community, and now people want to buy from you. And then last, 40 minutes is hard because I want to talk to everybody. And everybody on here who knows me knows I'll probably run out of time, but I'm gonna keep going. Let's talk about consistency, and then I'll review these again in case you missed anything. So consistency is queen. You just want to start and do it and do it and do it and do it and do it. Even if you're doing it wrong, it's better than not doing it. So consistency. They say that it takes 21 days to build a habit, but I say in entrepreneurship, because our lives are crazy, it takes 90 days. because everything that we're doing, we have so many inputs in our lives. Like there's so many things coming at us all of the time. So in order for us for our outputs to be consistent, we have to like do them for longer. So 21 days is not enough time to build a habit in entrepreneurship. Try it for 90, maybe 60, but consistency is queen here. So here's some ways that I would say to get to consistency. One, for email marketing, just pick a day and a time that you can commit to. So once you kind of play around with your audience and kind of see what they need, or even if you're like, I don't have the data yet, just pick a day and time and do that with consistency and use the data, like just collect the data. Let the data pile up. And then in 30 days, look at it. Or if you're like, I want a shorter time, 15 days. Do it for 15 days and just do it at the same day and the same time for 15 days. But I really do think you should do it longer than that. Keep doing that and let the data pile up. And then pick the day by which you're going to look at that data and then make a decision. What I see entrepreneurs do a lot is, especially when it comes to email marketing, is they say, well, I'm going to automate all of my emails and I'm going to wait until I get my entire funnel set up. And I'm like, girl, if you don't just pick a day and time that you're going to send that email, you're never going to do it. Because I don't know about you all, it is very limited time if you're doing this by yourself. And so trying to wait until you have it all set up may mean you never get it done. So pick a day and time to do email. And if for the first like 10 emails, you actually have to manually type the email and send it out, do that until you get to consistency, or you can get to a point where you can schedule it and let it consistently go out at the same day and time. The second thing I would tell you all to do is just pick a format. Here's another place I see people get stuck. They're like, should I do a newsletter? Should I do a list? Should I do a quick tip? Should I do a narrative? Just pick one. Pick one, let the data pile up, and then see how people are responding to it. And I will tell you this from personal experience, I am a format junkie. Like I'm like, oh, I love designing things. I am not a graphic designer, but I love designing things. And I went through so many, if you came to my ConvertKit and looked at all the templates, I've designed so many different templates for our emails, so many ones that I've never even used. Like I literally have all these templates, I've never used it. And I had someone who said to me, Tiara, just pick a format. And she said, what is it that people come to your email for? I said, people come to our emails and they mostly most of our clicks are on our events. Most of our engagement is questions about our events. Or it's like some kind of testimony from an event, or it's somebody asking me a question about a service that we might provide. But that's why. So she was like, well, then what is the format that will allow you to best communicate the events, the value of the events, blah, 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 blah. So I picked it. I picked that format. And do you all know that remember I have I don't even know, there's at least 10 templates in there that I designed. When I sent this out, people responded back to me overwhelmingly. Oh my God, this is amazing. I love the new format of the email. And I'm like, it's because I was just meeting their needs. So pick the format that meets your people's needs, stick to that format, and then utilize the data to determine whether or not you need to change it. And then the last thing is stick to a content type. So sometimes we want to we say I hear people say on Monday, I'm going to send out a letter to my audience. And on Tuesday, I'm going to send out a tip. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to send out a wow Wednesday. And I'm like, you haven't sent anything. So start with one content type. Just do that. Just try that on and send it and send it and send it and pay attention to those things we talked about. Are people clicking? Are people actually opening it? What time of day? Let the data determine if you need to change the content type, but just stick to that. So everybody who is like, how do I just get started and not make this annoying? You just start. Pick a day and a time that you can do this consistently. Pick a format that you can commit to. Pick a content type that you can do, and then just do that. And let the data pile up and utilize the data to determine what changes you need to make over time. Consistency rules perfection, y'all. So with email marketing, I assume most people are here because they want to get better at it, which is also what the people said in the chat and people said out loud, is you want to actually do this. Consistency rules perfection. There's no way to get to excellence if you never start or if you don't do something with repetition so that you actually see what's working and what's not. So here are the things not to forget. As it pertains to platform, just ask yourself, can I use it? And can I get the data? That's it. Choose the platform. And maybe like affordability, maybe. Like maybe don't invest in something that you don't know if you're going to use. For your audience, there's like knowing who your audience is, like your target audience, that's for your business generally. But now like get to know your audience over email. Know who the people are that are actually opening those emails and what their behaviors are. What do they want and what do they need in email? That is so important because everybody who interacts with you on your other marketing channels may not be the same people who are interacting with you on marketing and they may not even have the same needs and wants on this marketing channel versus others. And then remember, in terms of value, just give more than you get. Like email marketing and marketing generally is not about making the sale. It's about attracting people and bringing people to you and creating awareness about your brand or your company. It's not about you getting something from someone. So if you really think about email marketing as I want to give, I want to provide value, more people are going to want to buy with you and more people are going to keep coming back to you. And then consistency is queen. You just got to do it and like stick to what's working for you until it's not working, or you may not know it's working. So let the data pile up and then allow yourself to make decisions utilizing that data. Here's a couple of quick mindset things I'll give you, and I'll close out before we go to Q&A. Here are the 3 things that I see people really like fumble. First, you have to quiet your ego. You have some really cool ideas. And as an entrepreneur, we are like full of good ideas. But this ain't about you. This is actually about your customer or your client. So what you think is cool and what they think is cool may be the same thing or may not. So utilizing your data to make decisions, understanding what your audience wants and making your decisions there, that is what's most important. And as an entrepreneur, when you come up with new ideas, there's nothing wrong with testing those ideas. But you can't get mad though. Like Susan, you can't be like upset when you're like, but this is brilliant and nobody in your audience thinks it is. That's not fair. I would also encourage you all to keep learning. So you are going to make some mistakes in email marketing. You're going to have low open rates. Low is probably like below 30%. You're going to have emails that like nobody clicks anything. You're going to find that there are some times where nobody is actually converting. Nobody's like more interested in kind of the next step of the sales process with you. Utilize the data to determine what is working and what is not. Call people, ask questions, talk to your people. Like, I don't believe in like taking like frivolous classes, but there are classes out there you can take if you really need to get good at this. So keep learning and forgive yourself when you make mistakes. And then last, invest in what's working. So this is another thing I watch entrepreneurs do all the time. We're like, where the dollars at? Okay, this is like recorded. So, like we're making it right. But we're like throwing money at things that like we think are cool or things that people tell us we should be throwing money at or time. So in terms of email marketing, invest in what's working. So when you find that for example, you have a platform that is really working for you, then maybe you look at like, what are the other functions? Like I want to like upgrade this or move from a free account to a paid account here because it's really working. Now I'm going to invest in it. Maybe you're finding that you have a format that works, you know what your content is, and you're like, I'm going to hire somebody to just do this for me. Like I know what's working, so I'm just a hire person to like do it. But I would really tell you, invest in what's working, not in good ideas or what people tell you, because you don't know. So I said before on consistency, let the data pile up. Let your data determine what you're going to invest your time and your money in. Otherwise, you'll find yourself wasting resources. And then I'm gonna go back to quiet the ego. Your ideas are not the best ideas all the time. It's not about you, it's about the audience. Here's how to stay in touch with me. I'm Tiara Abu on LinkedIn. On Instagram and LinkedIn, you can find us as She Can Work. And then our company is shecanwork.org. We do, like Donna Lisa said in my intro, we have our foundation that does programs. So you'll see us do lots of events. We offer a couple of cohort programs, and then we also are starting grants. So I'm really excited about that. And then we also offer business services, business management, and we are starting our first small business investment fund. It is really targeted for women who go through our programs, so that we can help them kind of get to the next phase of growth, right in between a major investor or a major bank loan, line of credit, et cetera. We want to be kind of an in-between, fill in the gap type of funding resource. And then this is what we're offering. So we offer business services. We have business service partners. One of them, or a few of them, do email marketing, content, and copywriting. So for anybody here who books with us, you can use this QR code. We are offering a $250 3-email welcome series if you say you attended this event, and then 25% off of any of our email marketing, content writing, or copywriting services. All you have to do is just say you came to this or you heard it at the TWU event. And I am ready for questions. And I'm gonna stop.
All right, 1 second, and I'm going to, yeah, perfect. So I'm gonna take care, we have a Facebook question really quick. Allison on Facebook, she wanted to know, I know this session is about email marketing, but I'm wondering about how I make sense of value I provide via emails versus social media. Can this content be the same?
So I think it can be the same. There's a nuance. So again, like, I think you have to get to know like who your audience is. And I tell people on social media, so I'll use us for example. On Instagram, we have our audience of women who come to most of our events and attend our programs are on Instagram. Those are the women who engage with us there. So the content that I put there speaks directly to the women who would come to our events or engage in our programs. On LinkedIn, primarily the people who interact with me on LinkedIn are partners. So I don't typically post, we don't typically post a lot about our events on there. We report out on LinkedIn, like, this is what happened at our event. So we go like, this is what's coming and this is what happened. So our content is a little bit different there. And then for email, again, it's like primarily people who would engage in our programs or come to our events. So we try to cater our marketing messaging there. So I think it's really important. I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the person who asked, but I think it's really important to really know who your audience is there and why people are coming. And if it is the same, I think there can be some crossover, but if it's not, I do think you have to be conscious of the like tweaks you might make in the content that you provide there.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Kimberly, do we have an online question?
Yes, this was asked a couple of times, Tiara. What is a good opening rate or also a good click-through rate?
Yeah, so here's the numbers that I'll tell you what my marketing team has used. We like, so 30% is good. We try to keep a 50% open rate. So our open rate is probably consistently somewhere between 47% and 52%. At one point we were at 60%. I'll tell you, when we were at 60%, we had a much smaller audience, and it was quite literally like people who met us in person and then they were on our email list. So kind of industry standards that I've heard are 30% open rates are pretty good for email. And then in terms of click-through rate, the goal that we kind of work towards is 11% click-through. I think you can get higher than that. We've like not seen it be higher than that for us. And then also like our marketing team and who like does marketing for other people. So I think 11% may be a good goal. I'll tell you, ours stays around like somewhere around 7%. which is why I think repetition is important in your email. So giving people multiple times to engage with that kind of content if you want them to take action.
Awesome. Do we have a question in person? Hannah?
As far as like basically no gatekeeping, like don't keep any information from them, so like they give one so you can get more. How do you know like when to I guess stop giving them so much information? Do you stop giving them so much information? Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so I don't. I have two companies, and I have a coaching company and I also have She Can Work. And for both of them, I mean, like if you called me today, I would tell you, I would take you through the entire session that I probably do, like on the third day of our program. Or I kind of like give it to you. What I found is that people are not like the gold is like actually not the information in and of itself, because they can kind of Google it. You can like Google the information. I think the gold is the process that you take them through. So if you're a service provider, especially the process that you are taking them through, people can't replicate that. The information, if Donna calls me today and she's like, hey, T, like I'm trying to improve my marketing, what do you think? I'll probably walk her through like the core principles of literally it's our third day in my core program that I actually sell. I just walk her through it. And I probably would also send her the workbook. Here you go, girl. The magic is coming to the session, being there, like having the questions answered, like having your questions answered in real time, having a mentor who's going to work you through it. And then also kind of the way we design that session. I could not take Donna through that on a call. So I like give her all the information because why not? It also, what I found is because I do that, people are like, how do I sign up? Like, how do I like figure this out? So I don't, maybe other people would disagree, but I just don't think there's a threshold for what you can share in terms of knowledge, because I believe that the magic is in working with you and the processes that you created for how to utilize that knowledge.
I think it might be going back to that mindset thing again, right? It's like letting go of your ego. So, right, I mean, like you say, they can get on Google and get all that information anyways. It's about, it's the relationship that you're building with that person, so.
Yeah.
Kimberly, do we have another online question?
We do. And Hannah, if you're still on, if I don't ask it correctly, please feel free to unmute yourself. She's been doing automated emails, but they go out based on when the person filled out the original form. That's the part that confuses me a little bit. Should I steer away from automating?
No, I don't think you should steer away from automating if that works for your audience. The tips I gave for kind of like pick a day and time, that's like if you just don't have automation set up and you haven't started yet. So automation is I tell people once you get to automation, go for it. Like you should do that. We are very, very busy. If though, so I will like one caveat is if it's actually not meeting your goal to automate that, or meeting your goal for it to go out exactly when they sign up or create the form, then make an adjustment. But the automation in and of itself, I wouldn't say is a negative thing. I actually think automations, the more we can have that are working well and effective, the better, so we can get our hands off of so many things.
Awesome. Do we have another question in here? Marge?
Okay, so I have a lot of one-shot clients, like their students, and then once they're done with their research and they done with their degree, that's all they need from me. So I'm debating on whether to send them emails. I don't have a whole lot of email clients. I have a lot of people on social media, but what's the best recommendation on that?
Yeah, so if you have people, I'm like a big relationship builder. So I believe in staying in touch with everybody. So kind of I would recommend in terms of email, like what is the cadence by which you can send an email to them just to say, hey, I'm alive still, and I really pray that you are too. And I'm checking in on you. So an example I would give of that is I keep a list of my clients. I send out an email every December. That's kind of a Tiara's, I call it Tiara's long ASS email. Literally that's the subject, and they all know they get it every year. And in that email, it's like, here, how are you? Please respond back to me and tell me that everything is great or not. I put a link in there to schedule a call with me just to check in. And then I say, here are the new things that are happening with Lead with People, which is my coaching company. So that's my way to just have a touch point with them. I've also found that in those emails, I get people who are like, oh man, I'm glad you sent this to me because I actually was gonna reach out to you to book a coaching session. Are you still doing like hourly? I'm not, but things like that. Or I've had people who reached out to me and given me updates about people that we've had in common. That actually has led to me reaching out to that person and securing a contract. So pick a cadence by which you might want to just keep up with them and maintain the relationship. And then I would say send out the email on that cadence.
Do we have another online question?
Yes, we have someone that asked about what do you see as the best way to reach a 55 plus audience?
Oh, this is a really good question because we're doing this right now. So we have a partnership with an organization, and we actually have programming that we're starting for 50 plus entrepreneurs. We are actually, so this is real-time data. And whoever asked me this, girl, don't be mad if this doesn't work. I'm just going to tell you what we're trying and what we are finding to be effective. We're finding Facebook to be effective. So Facebook groups we're finding are effective, and we have found that in person. So the way that we've kind of found our 50 plus crowd is we've gone to community centers, we've gone to restaurants, we actually have talked to people who do like insurance, retirement communities, et cetera, because even though everybody who is above 50 plus is not like retiring yet, they're thinking about it oftentimes. So we've like gotten direct introductions. And then I've talked to people. Here's the other thing. This is for any age group. But we are really finding it true to like find our 50 plus crowd. We talk to people who are 50 plus, and we ask them to introduce us to people who might need what we are offering, because all of their friends are around their age. So those are the things I would give you. Nothing is tried and true for us because we literally are just trying this. And I don't have a lot of data on it yet, but those are some ideas.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate your time today and all the information. We will make sure, Tiara has already sent me the slide deck. We'll make sure you get that. Her contact information is in there. We'll make sure you have a link to sign up for her email, so you can do that. If nothing else, to see what she's got going on and to see how she's really working it. And then a couple of housekeeping announcements. We have a few events that are coming up. Our next free headshot and networking event here on the Denton campus is scheduled for Thursday, April 25th. It's going to be from 5 to 7 p.m. So anybody that's in the Denton DFW area, or if you want to travel from Houston, we've had people that have come up from all over to come get a free headshot and a networking opportunity. Registration opens up for that this Thursday. An email will go out at 9 o'clock for you to register for that. Our May WomenRISE is transitioning from DM requests to sales funnel with Jesse Gary of Green Eyed Ambition. That's going to be a really great opportunity to learn more about how to get people from your DMs into your sales funnel. And then our first Saturday workshop of 2024 is May 18th. It's AI marketing strategies to increase influence, impact, and income with Tony Harris-Taylor with drastic results marketing and sales coaching. This one is going to be virtual only, and it's going to be limited seating because there's going to be a lot of breakout rooms, and we want to make sure we can manage all of that. Registration will open up for that on April 30th at 9, and email will go out that day so you can click and register right away. And I think that's all we have.
What about tonight?
Oh, tonight is our, we have veteran grant training tonight. This first one is about veteran resources that are available here. With our partners, that is from 6 to 7:30. If you want, that is not a live event. That's not on Eventbrite. So if you are interested in participating in that, you can send me an email at dstanyard@twu.edu. Kimberly, can you put that in the chat for me?
Yes.
Send me an email and I'll send you the Zoom link. So, anything else, Tracy?
Nope, that's it. Tiara, thank you. That was such great information and so helpful.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Donna Lisa, I'm sorry. I was sending a thank you to Tiara when you asked me to do something. Did you want your email or the CWE email?
Put my email in the chat, and if
You bet.
anybody's interested in attending that, they can email me.
There we go.
Awesome. So I'm gonna make you, well, wait a minute, let me get us off of Facebook. Stop the